Hey, in this video, I'm going to be talking about which size softbox you need. Now, a lot of people have asked me why I have different size softboxes. I have everything from a sort of 1 by 1 meter up to what looks like a 3 by 2 meter softbox. And then I have ways of actually making those even bigger still. And you'll notice behind me, I've got different size modifiers. And there is a reason for this. And I have to have everything, and you probably don't. So I need to own a lot of kit because my client might go, oh, could we just change that so it looks like this? And I need to go, yes, we have the tools to do that. But if you're watching this video, you're probably thinking, well, which size do I need? Is the size I have now the right size? Or do I need a different size one? Do I need a second one? Or if I'm buying my first one, which one should it be? Now, there's something here you have to understand first. In order to choose your softbox size, you need to understand the inverse square law. Now, you don't need to know it in terms of being able to calculate it in your head with exact numbers, but what you need to understand is the way that light disappears as you get further and further from the modifier. Let me show you. Now, this is going to be a very slapdash approach, but this is all you need to understand at this point. I have to calculate it some days, but it's very rare that the pen and paper come out. If this is my light, and this is 1 foot away, we're measuring the light here at 100%. When I go 2 foot away, we've only got 25% of the light, so we've lost 75% here. And as we go away, the light disappears more and more gradually. So it's a huge drop off and then a gradual movement along there. Now towards the end, it's sticking between 4, 3 and 2%. And the difference between 1 foot here and 1 foot there is very slim. So the further away the light is, the more even it is. So if you're looking for an evenly lit image, your light's going to need to be a reasonable distance away. And I'll explain how this coincides with modifier size in a moment. If you want to have those really punchy shadows, that light needs to come closer in. Now, there's a lot of other stuff we can do in here to help adapt all of these features. I'm going to do a separate video on that about modifying light as well. But for now, let's keep it reasonably simple. Say we want to have an evenly lit subject. This modifier is going to have to be several feet away. Assuming you have the space, this now means that your light source is relatively small compared to your subject, because when you look at it, it's far away, much like the sun. Now, if we bring it closer, as this light source comes closer, assuming it is the same softbox, it will get bigger and bigger and bigger relative to the subject, and therefore softer and softer and softer. So the bigger the modifier is compared to the subject, the softer the light, the smaller it is, the harder the light. However, when it is close and big, it means that the light is going to disappear really quickly. So if you're shooting a flat lay and you're lighting from top to bottom, you might find the bottom part of your image becoming too dark. And in order to get it so you've got all of that, looking back at the inverse square law, in that 3 to 4% of light fall off, that light's going to have to be so far away that it becomes a small light source and therefore soft. The reason I own a 3 by 2 meter softbox is that if I have to do a giant flat lay and I want it evenly lit and maybe it's 2 meters wide, I'm going to need to have that light on the other side of my studio. And if they want it to be soft as well, in order to have a soft light, it's got to be huge. So I have to have this monstrous modifier. On the flip side, if they want it to be hard and evenly lit, I need to change that to a smaller modifier. Now, if we start to think about having the darker shadows and the deeper shadows and that really nice fall off of light in portraits, and we can add that to tomatoes, to food, that light's going to have to be close, and it doesn't necessarily have to be as big to be soft. But if I start to move it far enough away to get an evenly lit surface, it's going to start to become hard. Now, obviously, this is all a relative scale. A softbox of this size far away is still going to be less hard than, say, a bare bulb or a spill kill, but it's important to understand this. So which size softbox do you need? Because this doesn't give you an exact answer. And it comes down to what you're trying to achieve with your food. If you want that dark, moody food, you can go for a smaller softbox because you're going to need the light to be close. And you're going to want that dramatic fall off to add the drama to your images. If you want that soft, hazy sort of morning breakfast look on the marble slabs, you're going to need a bigger softbox further away. Now, obviously, you're going to be restricted by the size of your house because not everybody has huge houses where they live. If you live in London, New York, or Japan, you're probably not going to have a monstrous house in Tokyo, for example. Whereas if you live in the countryside or in America, apparently the houses in America are monstrous. So it's worth taking these into consideration, and it's a balancing act. So if you already have a softbox and you're finding that you can't get the light to be soft enough whilst evenly lighting your subject, you need to go bigger, and I would double the size. I always think if you're going to go up, don't go up by 10 centimeters, go big. And likewise, if you want those dark and moody photographs and you've not bought a softbox yet, go small. anything up to 1 meter in size will be great for that sort of application. Now, I'm going to put some softboxes in the description that are sort of used for Godox lights and the Bowens S mounts. That seems to be the most popular mount out there. And I'm going to put a link saying this one here, if you want to have lighting that is moody, contrasty, and with a heavy fall off, this will be good for you. If you need to have that soft light, the even light from a distance, this will be good for you. Now, I hope this helps answer that question as to which size softbox should you be using or buying. If it doesn't, ask in the comments below, because I'm doing a whole series on lighting in food photography because it is such an important part of food photography. If you have any questions about lighting or you want me to cover anything, let me know in the comments, send me a DM on Instagram, and then I'll try and find a way to put it into a video like this one here. I hope this has been of use to you, and I'll see you all next time.